Welcome to my video this morning. So this morning I wanted to talk to you about yoga. And the reason I wanted to do that is to bring awareness to all of you who are interested in improving your overall health. And today I wanted to talk about yoga with my friend and my instructor, Nicola Boist. So, welcome Nicola.
Thanks, Lexi.
How are you?
Good. Yourself?
I'm awesome.
Good.
Thank you for coming today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So, Nicola, I just wanted to ask you a few questions.
Absolutely.
How did you get started into yoga and what led you into it?
I started years ago practicing on my own. I had always been told that it was just really good for you. My mom had practiced it many moons ago, and I had always been active, and so it was just a combination leading me up to that. I had started to have a sore back, which actually led to back surgery, and I was always told yoga helps, and so I continued on the yoga path and just continued up until now and still doing it.
That is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That is really great. So, how long have you been actually practicing yoga?
Practicing for probably 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah, teaching for 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 years. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you like to help other people? Do you like to tell them about the benefits and see if they get the benefits out of it?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Because there's so much that you get, whether it be physical or mental. If you want to take the spiritual side, you can. You don't have to. So it's really so rounding for your entire self, your entire well-being.
Right. That's awesome. And I get those same benefits out of it as well.
Yeah, I'm glad for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good.
Awesome.
So, do you hope to inspire younger people to get into yoga at an earlier age?
I do. The younger you start, the more you could possibly do, in the sense of just learning more about your body. It's as you get older and you can start to get stiffer, I encourage those people to start somewhere along the path as well. Never thinking that you need to be a Gumby to start yoga, right? You can start at any age. But for that whole mind-body awareness, that is really nice to start. Because even when you come as an older person and you come into yoga, you may not have that. And so the more aware you are of your body, as you go along over the years, you'll notice different things, how different things change, how things affect you differently, and then you'll be able to respond to that.
Right. So, Nicola, do you have any other passions besides yoga that you do on a regular basis?
I do. I'm a group fitness instructor. So I love to empower women to do more for themselves, to find the best of themselves, whether it be cycling or group fitness classes, TRX, anything just to get active, anything to get out there. I love doing that.
Awesome. That sounds like you're very passionate about that. That's just great. So, Nicola, how did you get started into yoga and how long have you been doing it for?
I started many years ago, probably about 10 or so years ago. I would practice at home. I had a baby at the time, and when she was crawling, and then she'd crawl over me and into my practice, and so I just worked her into it. But then over the course of the years, I decided I needed to teach it. So I've been teaching it for the last 5 years and really enjoying it.
Awesome. That is great. And you teach in and around the Red Deer area?
Yeah, in central Alberta.
Okay.
So I'll travel from Red Deer out to Lacombe and wherever is needed, Sylvan.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So do you try to encourage people of any age to get into yoga?
Yes, absolutely. And don't ever feel as though you need to be flexible to start yoga. That's not the point of yoga at all. It's the journey. It's what everyone talks about is the journey through, but it is. It's you become more aware of your body, your mind-body awareness. So yoga is so much more than just the poses. It can be the spiritual side, the health side, the physical side. It can be very mental as well. So by all means, I encourage anybody to always start wherever you are.
Okay, awesome. That's great. So what are some of the benefits that you get out of doing yoga?
Mine is very mind-body. The physical side, I get the spiritual side of it as well. I love to be able to go into a class, work hard, use my whole body for everything. But it's that connection with the breath and the body, and just the slowing it down and the thinking about my movements and how it's going to affect me, how I'm going to just move through everything. I love that aspect of it, of just kind of slowing down. I do many other physical activities, but nothing where I can really come inside.
Awesome. I agree. I have the same benefits when I do yoga as well. It's that mind-body connection, slowing things down,
Yeah.
and it refreshes me for the whole day and changes my whole day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just awesome. The focus is right there, the mind, body, and breathing, and it works all together. And it's very strong, especially when you stay focused on it for the whole practice, 45 minutes, hour, hour and a half, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you come out of it and you just feel so much better.
Absolutely.
You're alert, your body's ready to go for the day. You're just activated, and because you were so engaged.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, great
Yeah.
way to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. So, are you hoping to inspire more people by making this video, Nicola?
Always.
Awesome.
If more people could try it, even if one person tried it, then that's perfect.
I agree.
I always think, if you've never tried it, why not? What's holding you back?
Right.
Try it. It's fun and it's inviting, and not all yogis are dread-wearing hippies. They're just normal people. Just getting in some yoga pants and going to class,
Right, get on that mat.
That's right.
Get started.
That's right.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest fear, is arriving on your mat. It's the hardest thing out of all of it.
Yes, I can relate. So, Nicola, how would a person go about getting into yoga if they've never done it before?
So if you've never done yoga before, what you could do is search out through your community. And you can simply search yoga studios. So wherever you're living, there's going to be, an array of different studios and teachers. So, if there's one pretty much in your back door in your neighborhood, give them a try. Call them up, ask them what kind of classes they have, or go to their website.
Right.
Read the descriptions of the classes, because there are so many different styles of yoga that if you're just starting out, you kind of want to see what, get your feet wet, dabble. A lot of the studios in and around Red Deer will offer you 2 weeks unlimited for a set price. And that way you're able to go to so many classes and try different teachers, different styles. But definitely it's worth the time to go and try the different ones.
Okay.
See what kind of teacher you resonate with, see what style you resonate with.
Excellent. Great
Yeah.
information. So, I know in my practices, I've gone to instructors that I do resonate with and some that I don't. I do feel there's a benefit of going to instructors that you don't resonate with sometime. They have a different perspective and they open your mind up to different opportunities and doing different ways of yoga.
That's right. That's excellent to bring up. And it's because that also ties in with poses. So if there's something about a teacher that you're like, I don't do it that way. I like to do it my way. But are you really getting that full benefit doing it your way?
Right.
How different is that pose now doing it their way? Look at the pose again for the first time, doing it somebody else's way, and then see. Or if there's a pose that you're like, oh, I hate this pose. Why do you hate it? There's something about that pose that's telling you about yourself. And that's why you don't like it. Maybe you just don't feel very flexible. Maybe you don't feel like you're getting anywhere in that pose. And you're like, oh, I just feel stuck. Which is all the reason more why you should be doing it.
Right.
opening yourself up and not being so resilient and tight to those poses and being like, I'm not doing that. Go ahead, try the pose, do it again, but have a different mindset and then see how your body responds to that different mindset.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
How does breathing come into play with yoga poses and yoga in general?
Yep, breathing's everything. It is your prana. So you inhale and exhale through the nose. Whereas practices like Pilates is an inhale and an exhale through the mouth. So all yoga is inhale, exhale through the nose. And you tend to want to bring your breath all the way down into your belly. So think of your Buddha belly. Let that belly expand fully and contract fully. So trying to get the breath out of your chest and get it deep and down. Every movement matches either an inhale or an exhale. Okay, so that's why you flow. That's why they call it a flow, is because you're just simply moving with your breath, moving through the postures. And breathing also does help to make the practice a little easier. Holding your breath will make it harder.
So, Nicola, some issues holding people back and how to overcome them. Have you had any experience with people stopping themselves from doing yoga and not getting started because they've talked about issues and they just can't make that first move and go to that first class?
Absolutely. Such a great question. People either don't think they can do it because of their weight. They don't think they can do it because of their flexibility. And none of that matters, because you adapt the poses to you, however you are. So if you're a little bit tighter in, say, your hamstrings, then you're going to bend your knees a little bit more deeply, either in a forward fold or even downward facing dog. So you work your body into the poses rather than the poses into your body. So you just allow your body just to soften in wherever it wants to soften, rather than fighting it, thinking that you have to have your heels down and you have to have your legs straight. And no, you don't. The pose is the way the pose looks when you practice it. That's the way the pose is supposed to look. Not with the way it's supposed to look on a magazine with, a super yogi who's incredibly open, or a ballerina who's pulling out all these beautiful poses. That's not reality. Reality is when we, as normal people, go to the studio and do yoga. That's what yoga is supposed to look like. That's how it's supposed to feel. So don't ever feel as though you are too tight or anything else to start. Your body will listen. It will start to open.
Excellent information. That is awesome. I really hope that helps people. That was
I do
excellent.
too. Yeah, it's like saying you're, too dirty for a bath or not dirty enough, and it's like, well, come on, you gotta start somewhere. So just give it a try. And you can always try, even with private consultation, taking a couple private classes first, even just to kind of wet your feet before jumping into a class.
Great advice. Excellent. So, if a person starts and does want to go to yoga class, how do they prepare for it? And then how is it, like, how do they prepare before and after kind of thing? Do you know what I mean?
I do.
Okay.
So things that you want to think about is hydration. So you want to bring some water with you. If you're going to take a hot yoga class, you definitely want to bring a lot of water with you, and maybe even throw some electrolytes in that water. Until your body adapts to the heat can seem like a lot. And those extra electrolytes in your water will help that. It will help combat that need, or that feeling that you need to leave because it's too hot. Eating a couple of hours before your practice is always recommended, so that your body has something to fuel. And then afterwards, I always tell my people, have some protein, have some complex carbohydrates, because you want to then fuel your body. And always, always drink lots of water.
Excellent advice.
And in the studios, if you don't have a mat, don't feel as though you need to go out and buy the most expensive mat that you see on the market. The studios will lend you a mat. Yeah, absolutely. And if it's a hot class, then they have special towels just for hot classes. And then they have towels for afterwards for you to, put on your forehead to help cool you down. Whether it's a hot class or a non-heated class, the towels are still nice. And you can just put it on and lay in your shavasana and just enjoy. Yeah.
Yeah, and most places, I've been to some places for the first time, and they know it's your first time, so they're there to help you.
Absolutely.
And guide you and give you direction.
That's right.
And then once you've been to a couple classes, you start to know the ropes. You start to know what you really need for yourself, not what other people's needs are, but what your needs are.
And you know what, Lexi, you just touched on a great point on what you need and not what other people need. So when you're on your mat and you come to your first class, it may be that time slot that it works for somebody else, but it's not their first class. So they've been to quite a few classes and their bodies are quite open. It's not for you to compare yourself to them or to watch what they're doing on their mat. It's for what you're doing on your mat. Let them have their practice, but this is your practice. This is your journey. So do what feels right within your body. Take the instruction from your teacher. You know, if they come over, maybe give you a little bit of an adjustment, you know, just to straighten you up or adjust your foot. Allow them to. Be acceptable to that. Let them move you and manipulate you in the way that the pose is going to feel better for you, right? And whatever that person over there is doing in headstand or some other odd pose, you don't worry. You just accept that this is where you are today, and maybe you'll get there, right? One day. But right now, you're here. Step one.
Absolutely. It's not a competition at all.
No. It's not a competition, and it's not a spectator sport.
That's good to know too.
So nobody gets to watch you doing your yoga.
So Nicola, you spoke about hot yoga earlier. So what about that? Like, how hot is the room, and why would you go do that?
So the rooms are usually heated anywhere from about 42 to 45 degrees Celsius. And so there are certain studios, the newer studios in Red Deer. I know of one in particular that has infrared heat, which is state of the art. So you don't have heaters blowing around you. You don't have humidifiers on the floor blowing around you, which can be really noisy and just really distracting. The heat is even, and it heats you from your inside out. So it's a nice even heat just to warm the body. Some people think it detoxes you more. Some people think that you get more flexibility from it being in the heat and that your body's warm. What I suggest to anybody, if you like the heat, absolutely search out a studio that offers it. If you're like, I'm not sure, you can absolutely try it. But in any class, you're going to start your own internal flame. You're going to create your own heat and bring it up anyways without the heat of the room. So if you're not interested in a heated room, if you're worried about that it's too much, you're not going to be able to handle it, then just try a regular room temperature class and maybe work up to it, or not at all, and that's okay. Everybody's different. I love both styles of practices. Whether it be heated or non-heated, I get warm regardless.
Awesome. So the phrase namaste is used a lot at the end of practice.
It is.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So over in India, it is like a greeting. So the light within me shines and honors the light within you. It's meant for goodwill and to send love to somebody. It's not religious at all. I mean, really over there, we say hi to everybody as we walk past them. Well, they'll say namaste. So when closing out a class, you're just trying to give some love back. You've shared all this energy during your practice, and it's just a way of energy sharing. So you can namaste the teacher, and by all means, namaste the people next to you. You know, it's just a nice way of sharing. You've sat next to them this whole 75 minutes or however long your practice was, and breathing and sweating next to them. Give them a little love back. Give them a little namaste, and you know, everyone goes on their way with a little extra love in their heart.
That's excellent. Good to know. Well, thank you for watching today, everyone. And I thank you, Nicola, for your time today.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lexi.
You're welcome. Really appreciate you. And namaste.
Namaste.
So thank you for watching today. And I hope this helped you improve your overall health. Please like, share, or comment. And I will see you again in the next video. Bye for now.